We're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This is Robcasting Radio.
Hey, sports fans, it's game time. Indians hockey is on the air.
He'll set up shop behind the net now, looking for the wraparound try. Stoning it a couple of times. On net, and the Indians score! To the near side, down on net, and able to trap it. From the looks of it, are they going to rule that a goal? Yes!
Must have been loose.
They're saying the puck was loose, and it trickled past Barnes. 3-0 Indians. Logan McDougal, a junior. Face off to his right, waiting in the high slot. Trickles down. Oh, they stopped it.
No goal.
It is no goal. To the far boards. Penalty has expired. 38 to go in the period. And taken away. Right out off the bench. Right circle. Score! TJ McKee takes advantage of opportunity. 4-1 pack. Will take it back. This squirts away just off to the side of the net, and they score! A little tic-tac-toe, sharp angle, Indians lead 5-1. Cross ice it goes, backhand, neutral zone, score! Trishelli opens the floodgates, 6-1 Indians. Turned over, here's McKee. McKee goes to the backhand and scores short-handed.
From Robcasting Radio, this is Mahopac Indians hockey.
Welcome to the Brewster Ice Arena for the 2019-2020 Hockey Fights Cancer matchup between the Carmel Rams and the Mahopac Indians. With Harold Turk, I'm Rob Adams, Sean Adams producing tonight, and we will just join the festivities on the ice for the ceremonial puck drop.
From neuroendocrine cancer, a rare type of cancer. She is also survived by husband Richard and Ryan's sister Grace. Everybody, let's please welcome Ryan.
Captains Stephen Mount came out for the Rams, and representing the Indians was Chase Sandariella. Let's listen in for the introduction of the starting lineups.
On defense, number 2, Graham Ludwig. Number 15, Galvin Galasano. Number 12, Noah Richardson. Number 13, Jack Reagan. Number 17, Stephen Mount. And in goal today, number 1, Nico Pastiano. And now the starting lineup for Mahopac. Number 71, Cooper Betancourt. Number 28, Chase Santarella. Number 15, Adrian Martin. Number 11, Danny Shum. Number 6, Shane Moody. And in goal tonight for Mahopac, number 33, Mike Horan. At this time, please stand for our national anthem, Mahopac High School singer Veronica Belinsky, a junior at Mahopac High School. Let's hear it for Veronica.
Nice job through the crackle by Veronica.
Assistant coaches Brian.
As we get ready for Mahopac and Carmel. Harold will join us in just a moment. The Rams come in with a record of 2-2 on the year, while the Indians at 0-4-1. And boy, is that the story right there. Mahopac lost a lot, Harold. They've got to somehow find a way to put it together.
Yeah, that's right, Rob. The Mahopac team, to say they lost a little bit of scoring this season would be a gross understatement. When you're talking about the two-headed hydra that I referred to last year as McKee and what's his name?
O'Shea.
O'Shea. I always get those two. But McKee and O'Shea, the two of them were responsible for a lot of their goals, and they have to make it up somewhere. And so far this season, doesn't look like they've been getting it too much.
Again, the starters: Positano in goal for the Rams. On defense, it's Ludwig. And away we go. So we'll try to do this all over again. Positano in goal with Ludwig, Richardson, Lagan, Gavin Golisano, and Mount. For the Indians, it's Shane Moody, Danny Shum, Aiden Martin, Chase Santarella, Mike Horan in net, and Cooper Betancourt. And we'll try this all over again. A little bit of a false start all over the place here tonight, including on the broadcast side. We apologize for that. We wanted to be live. And the most polite thing I can say is the internet stinks here. And away we go. From left to right go the Rams in the pink sweaters. They bring it down the left side. The Indians are going to try to pick that up and grab it the other way with Shane Moody. Moody gets it back out to center. Feels good to be calling hockey again. For me, it's been about 7 months. Did some back in May, as I did some world championships down in Pennsylvania, or rather in New Jersey. Played back into the Carmel zone, threaded out to the neutral zone, spun around. The Indians will scoop it there with Betancourt, the senior, one of two captains. For Tim Donahue, the head coach, Sean McGee, the assistant. Brenna Meany and Madeline McCrossan are the team managers. Over to the near side boards and threaded into the Mahopac zone. Stolen away, right circle, dancing down into the slot, and on net it goes. That puck dances right there, and they will whistle it dead. Horan, I'm not sure Horan knew he had the puck.
I don't think he did either. He was looking around as if it was behind him, but it was caught up in his equipment, and it dropped down for a face-off.
Face-off will come to the left side of Horan. The 8th grader, Nico Positano, down to our left. Face-off controlled by the Rams, thrown down the right wing side. For the Rams, Christopher Frey over there. He is a freshman defenseman. Playing at the point, they go to the left side now, into the circle. That gets sent up and flies high off, I believe, the ceiling. Sounded like it crashed off of there.
Yeah, it was ceiling and then the siding.
Yep, there you go. I knew I heard some metal. 1:09 gone by. We're just settling in. No score on a Friday night here at the Brewster Ice Arena. Face off to the right side of Haran. Won again by the Rams. The Indians have been off for a week. A wraparound try almost threaded through by Brendan Murphy, the sophomore for the Rams. Over to the near circle. The Indians able to grab it there. They are in blue, almost purple sweaters as they get it back out to center. Dancing along, this is Nick Biagini. Goes down the right wing side. To the circle he goes. Played behind the net. Brings it over toward the left corner. In the corner, he takes a hit along the side and threaded back out. The Indians had it, couldn't control it. Now they try to get it back and across. Taken instead by the Rams. Here comes Murphy. Murphy starts back. They've got it across the line. To the left circle it goes. A wrister on net, and Haran's going to hold on.
Yeah, Carmel's testing Haran early, but Haran's standing in the net, giving very little for the shooters to shoot at, so they've basically been hitting them in the chest.
The Mahopac Maniacs to our right tonight because they're straight across from the Mahopac bench. Face off to the right side of Haran, where most of the play has been, at least for the first 2 minutes of this evening. Back to the near side boards it goes in the Mahopac zone with a hit along the near boards. The Rams try to spin it around, and able to control it initially was Betancourt. But here come the Rams again. They had a little bit of a 3-on-2 set, but they'll go to the left corner. Noah Richardson over there, a sophomore. Plays it back behind the net. Here come the Indians. They will skate out from right to left. Skating through with Shum. Shum gets across the line. A wrister along from the left circle. Sends toward the right corner. Those Zamboni doors, in fact, got a little trapped the other night when the Indians were here to play Horace Greeley, a game that the Indians lost 8-0. Back on at the other end, goes by Haran and behind him, setting it up out in front. Richardson was standing nearby, held in by the Rams, deflected and put back down in the left circle, and they will whistle the play dead for a high stick. 12:15 to go, period number 1, no score.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought Mount on that was going to get called for closing his hand on the puck. So he called it, I think he called it a hand pass.
This is indeed Hockey Fights Cancer Night. It is the third year they are doing it, and it's the third year that we're trying to broadcast it at least. Face-off goes to the left side. Played along the left boards, rather to the left side of the net, I beg your pardon, to the left side of Positano. Now out of the left corner for the Indians, looking to set up shop out in front. They'll go behind the net, trying for a wraparound right there was Biagini, but held on to by Positano. Do you get a feel for the 8th graders so far?
So far, no. He hasn't really been challenged very much, but I heard a lot of positive things based on his previous start, where he played a very strong Pearl River team. And Carmel wound up on the losing end of that 4-3, but I heard he was fantastic.
Face off to his right. Indians win that draw. Along to the near side boards, Indians keeping the pressure on. Down the left side again, held in the circle. Along with the Indians comes Ryan Carraher, goes behind the net. 11:45 to go, period number 1. No score. The third annual Hockey Fights Cancer Night. First of 2 games between these rivals, and they are among the best rivalries in this area. Certainly Section 1 as well as Connecticut, which I'm fairly familiar with. You certainly think Darien and New Canaan on that side of the state line, but around here you've got Mahopac and Carmel about as good as it gets, and here come the Indians. The Indians into the slot it goes, and a penalty coming, and that was an easy call. The only question was who's going to go off.
Yeah, I was wondering whether or not he was going to point to center ice for a second.
So did I.
But I think that was the right call. He didn't have too much of a step on him. I don't know which player got it, but whoever took him down, probably a smart move. Oh, wait.
It is a penalty shot. We've got a penalty shot.
Okay. He never pointed to center ice. I got completely thrown off.
I saw him point to the net, but I never saw an indication. I'm with you. It's a penalty shot here for Mahopac, and it looks like it's for Nick Biagini. He makes the approach. Here we go. Starts in right through the slot. Gets down on net. Wrister on net and held on to by Positano.
Okay, now you can say that Positano's in the game. That was a solid play by Positano, the way he stayed there, stood up to the shooter, and was able to just center to the shot, and he put it essentially in his chest.
He played it perfectly. He really did.
He's wise beyond his age, I guess.
Absolutely.
Penalty is to Carmel Rams, number 25, Brendan Murphy for tripping.
So now the penalty goes up.
So it was a penalty and a penalty shot.
Wow.
I got to be honest, I don't remember. I guess he called one player for the trip and one penalty for the, I don't know, was that interference or?
It wasn't made very clear. 3:42 time of the penalty, still no score. I've never seen that.
Wait, which is weird because there is no power play.
So it must have been
that was what he called it.
Yeah,
okay.
All right, so that clears it all up.
Well, that threw me off.
Yeah.
Like the internet, I'm a little slow to that.
Jeez, you and me both. All right. So the penalty shot takes care of business. It's still no score. 10:50 to go, period number 1. Here comes Murphy down the left side to the left circle. He goes, just flailing at it. Goes between two Indians, play behind the net, comes over to the near side boards. Scooped up by the Indians, Ryan Caraher, the junior. No score, Carmel and Mahopac. Already an interesting one because you don't see, as this leaves the ice, you do not see too many penalty shots at high school level.
Yeah, which is why I was a little thrown off by it. But I think, when I saw it happen initially, I thought he got the benefit of the doubt there. But yeah, I could have seen them calling it because he was splitting the defense. I just thought that he didn't have too much of a step on him to actually make that call, but
Faceoff comes back out to center ice. For the Rams, it was Mount, while it was Shum for the Indians. No score, 10:25 to go, first period. Played behind the net. There's Aiden Martin to the near side boards for the Indians. Chopping at it is Gavin Golisano. Golisano, the senior forward for the Carmel Rams. Michael Chacha is the head coach of the Rams. We're fairly familiar with both these squads, in fact, as it's played along the left side boards. There is Golisano for the Rams. They're in the pink tonight. Mahopac, as we said, it's a blue that really drifts into purple with the pink logo, the Mahopac logo on the front of the sweater, slightly muted pink as down goes Mount, and that should draw a penalty, and indeed it does. And they've got him for tripping.
All right, that one I know was a trip because I saw him signal that. Mount made a good move on that. He was trying going from the off wing coming down, and he cut across. And essentially, you stick the stick between the legs, you're going to get called 100% of the time.
That is true. I believe. Was that Golia going off? I believe it was.
That's who it looks like.
Oh. And it doesn't matter because the Rams immediately score. So a power play goal wipes that out, and it's 1-0 Carmel.
It was 5 seconds, I believe, right?
That's all it took.
That puck had eyes. It just got right through.
So that took no time. I barely had a chance to glance at the roster to write down the penalty, and bang, 1-0. We'll get the official details on the goal.
Penalty set to Mahopac, Super 23, Michael Golia, for tripping. Power play goal. For Carmel's number 25, Brendan Murphy. Assisted by number 11, Luke Golisano.
So there you go. Murphy from Golisano at 5:15, 1-0. The Rams on top. And I can tell you from experience, the PA system is a little wonky.
A little bit today, that's for sure.
I was here last week.
All right, so a little bit all the time.
Yeah. It gets grumpy, yes. And there are instructions down there about how loud you should play it because it pops very easily. As we'll get a whistle with a hand pass off the faceoff. So 1-0, Carmel on top, 9:27 to go, first period here at the BIA. So the faceoff will come all the way back into the Mahopac zone. Looks like it'll be Murphy for the draw for the Rams, as it's controlled by the Rams initially. It'll be held in at the left point, brought over to the near side boards. 1-0 the score. As this will trickle down, go back behind the net. Setting up there is Luke Golisano. Bottom of the left circle, they'll go down toward Betancourt to the end boards. Cooper Betancourt, as we mentioned, 2 captains for Tim Donaghy. It's Betancourt and Aiden Martin with Danny Shum, the alternate captain. Through the left circle, turned over in the slot it goes with Frey. He's taken down to the right circle, no call. Of course, everybody wants a call, but the guys in the striped shirts get the final decision. Goes to the left boards, a hit there hard along the boards. Down goes Chris Chikara. This will be played out of the zone, and chasing it will be Frey back into his own end. But with a head of steam right behind him is Sofia Controno, as it'll be turned over, and the Rams will take it in their own zone. 8:29 to go, first period. Everybody kind of getting their skates under them tonight. As it's turned over, the Indians will take it back. They'll go from right to left. Little drop pass goes right at the blue line, sent across and down the right wing. Into the corner it comes for the Rams. The Rams in the pink, Mahopac, as we said, in that blue/purple. Taken by the Indians, they try to get something going there with Ryan Carraher. Across the line it goes, and an offside will be whistled. 8:04 to go, first period, 1-0 Carmel.
You know, I was wondering how Mahopac was going to start this game, Rob, because they've been struggling, and of course it didn't help that they gave up a penalty, got a penalty, missed a penalty shot, and then gave up a power play. So special teams was a little bit not their friend, I think, which has been a kind of a theme so far this season.
Off the face-off right outside of the Carmel zone, played over to the near side boards. Out of the corner it comes for the Rams. Jack Lagan, one of their captains. They have 4 captains for Michael Chacha as this comes down into the Ram zone. They'll turn it around with Gavin Golisano. So Zach Rubin, Jack Lagan, Gavin Golisano, and Stephen Mount are the 4 captains for the Rams, as getting hit was Gavin Golisano. He'll go to the end boards, and Mount had a good look right out in front, but a little bit of a sharp angle for him. Played over to the near corner. Grabbing it out of the corner, the Indians able to grab it there, taken away with Carraher. Carraher along the end boards. They scrum for it there. Into it comes Richie Guznowski as it comes over to the near side. Threaded into the slot. There was an Indian waiting, but Mount turns it around. It's redirected and sent over to the left circle. Lifted off the glass, trying a one-timer drop into the knee was Frey, and the Indians will take it the other way. Across the line it goes with Biagini. He gets taken down. Of course, they'll all love that because it doesn't matter. There's the great rivalry between these teams, so you'll hear the hooting and hollering all night. Turned over in the slot for a moment. It held right there, and back the other way go the Indians. There's Martin. Aiden Martin to the left circle. Nice little backhander. Oh, on the doorstep. The puck was loose, but unable to get anything on it were the Indians, and still 1-0. Right behind them was Shum. Shum will grab it at his own blue line, turn around, bring it across. He'll go down the right wing side into the circle. He had it taken away from him. Turned around, and the Rams grab, and down on net it goes, and Positano says, let me settle things down right there. He holds with 6:24 to go in the first.
To finish up what I was saying about Mahopac, I think if anything's going to get their blood pumping will be the rivalry game with Carmel. Obviously, big crowd for a great cause, but that should get their blood pumping. Right now, they're a little disjointed, and Carmel seems to be taking, I would say they've had the majority of the play.
Here's Martin, turns, fires, that goes off and well wide toward the left corner. 1-0 the score, 6:15 to go first period. Out to center it comes, dancing through the neutral zone for the Rams, goes Chris Chikara, and an offside is whistled.
Yeah, Chikara was making a move on the blue line, and unfortunately they couldn't hold it, whoever was on the right wing.
Face-off will come back outside, neutral zone. We had a good eagle eye view on it. Now it goes across to the opposite circle, closer to the crowd.
Yeah, I think it was Murphy who went offside.
Yep, Murphy does take the draw. Leaves it behind. The Rams win that draw. Played down into the Mahopac zone. Sent back out. All the way down it goes. They'll wave icing off. Of course, Positano was holding the hand up thinking he was going to get it, but not the case. So it's grabbed by Carraher. Carraher goes to the right circle, and out of the zone it goes. All the way down, chasing back for the Indians goes Guzniowski. Played along the left side, trying to take it away. Chikara over there. Stolen, the Rams get it, left circle. Wristed along, sent back to the left circle, turned around, and the Indians start back. They've got a 3-on-2 for the moment. They bring it across the line, heading toward the right circle, dancing into that right corner. They get trapped along there with Biagini for the Indians. As we mentioned, I was here for that game last week against Horace Greeley, and those doors wouldn't close initially. We had a delay because there was just too much ice and too much snow and couldn't get things going. So about a half-hour delay for that game as it's lifted out of the zone and all the way down into the Rams' end. Will icing be whistled this time? No, sir. Turned around. The Rams will take it. They thread it out toward neutral zone ice, but keeping it in their own end, bring it across the line, a turnover. The Indians take it with Jordan Donatone. Down the left side it goes with a connection there. Goes behind the net with 4:45 to go first period. 1-0. The Rams on top on the goal scored by Murphy at 5:15 of this first period. Out to the neutral zone again in a 1-0 game. Thrown along the far boards in the neutral zone and back down it goes. Graham Ludwig, the junior defenseman, will grab it for the Rams. Remember, if you're unfamiliar, it is co-ed, so it is not unfamiliar to say there's a female on the ice because they do play co-ed hockey in New York.
That is correct. One thing I wanted to point out, I was watching Gavin Golisano has 2 really strong hits this period. So he's out there. I think he's going to make the Mahopac forwards think a little bit.
Forward thinking.
Now, they're going to have him thinking a little bit, do you want to take that hit?
Yeah. I'm glancing, of course, at ace producer Sean Adams, who he and I have talked about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. As this is out in front, played into the high slot, down through traffic, it goes right circle. Grabbed by Robert Paradiso. He was there for the Rams as he came in through that high slot. Threaded right back, a one-time try, blasted over to the near side. Good look out in front, as I believe that was Mount who dropped to the knee in the left circle. Played behind the net by the Indians. They go to the far side. Over there is Shane Moody, the junior, for the Indians. 1-0, 3:48 to go first period. Hit right at the blue line. Back it goes. A 2-on-1 chance. Reaching up top over the net. It goes behind it there. Penalty coming.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if he called 1 or 2 on that, but I think he only called 1.
We'll see. He pointed twice, but it might have been to the same player each time. He's talking to an Indian. He's talking, in fact, to Danny Shum.
Actually, it's 2.
It's 2 Indians. Yikes.
Not what Mahopac wanted.
No. My son Sean likes the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song. It was never my thing. The show was never my thing.
I saw you smirking, and I was thinking, is it something I'm saying?
No,
then I saw you look to
he
Sean.
was smirking right behind you.
I saw you looking at Sean, so I knew it had to be the song that was playing.
Oh, they put 4 minutes up, Har.
Oof. So it's 1 player twice, not
Yeah.
2 players once.
Which should be 3 minutes because you play 90 seconds on the power play.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Whoa.
2
4-minute penalties?
I'm lost.
I am too. I will wait for the announcement.
Yeah, I don't know how we could call. I mean, one of those penalties, unless he's called it high stick. I don't know. It's like. And by the way, I think that shot on the delayed call was actually went off the crossbar. I think it went off the top of the net crossbar. So that could have easily squeezed in there.
Yeah, it kind of pinballed around.
Yeah, Haran's playing a pretty good game. He's keeping Mahopac in the game right now. This is where he's got to stand on his head.
We're still waiting on an announcement to understand what went on with these penalties. They've got 2 4-minute penalties. It looks like 9 minutes, but that's not the case.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen it. Well, I've seen 9-minute penalty, but that usually involves a fighting, and that wouldn't happen in high school hockey.
And now the officials are coming back. And wow. Nick Biagini just picked up a misconduct. which rightfully will pick up the wrath of Sean McGee.
There are 3 guys in the box right now.
Holy cow.
Well, I think Coach McGee is going to be rather upset in between the first and second periods for the lack of discipline. Whether or not you disagree with the call or not, you just can't be screaming at the ref.
Well, he's talking to the head coach, Tim Donaghy, right now. But we still need to understand what the heck's going on here.
Yeah, I can't. I have no clue what just transpired.
5-on-3 for 4 minutes was what I just heard. All right. Into the right corner it goes. PA Mike is on, so they're trying to figure out down below us as well. As they're playing it along the right wing boards. Here we go. Right circle. Well, they just scored. Did Carmel to make it 2-0 as we're still trying to figure out what's going on. It's a power play goal to make it 2-0. And the chant of Brendan Murphy across the way.
So that's number 2 for him for the night.
And it sounded like Shum went off for boarding. That's what I heard.
That I did. I think it was boarding, and it was definitely a major for boarding.
Yep.
And Shum.
All right, face-off out to center ice.
And this is since it's a major, it's still 4-minute power plays.
Yeah, and you've still got a misconduct in the middle of all this, so this is crazy. Through the neutral zone, it goes back into the Carmel zone. We would love a stoppage of play just to be able to figure out what's going on. But it's 2-0, we can tell you that much, and I believe Murphy has both goals. Left behind, the Rams will start out. There's the boarding call.
Major penalty assessed to Mahopac, number 23, Michael Golia for a check from behind.
A check from behind on Golia.
And a Mahopac penalty to number 24, Nick Biangini, for misconduct.
Wow. That is a lot to take in. There's our stoppage of play in the Mahopac end. It's still a 5-on-3 for 2 minutes and 53 seconds. It's 2-0.
It's going off the rails very quickly.
It really did.
I mean, they were holding their own. I mean, it was only a one goal game, and then it just, I guess, lack of discipline.
Face off to the right side of Haran. Puck held in by the Rams. That's Ludwig. Ludwig through the neutrals, or rather through the slot, sends it behind the net. To the right corner it goes. Rams can keep the pressure on. Cross ice into the left circle, trying to climb the ladder. Puck sits there. Waiting was Luke Golisano. Golisano will scoop it right back up, thinking about threading it into the right circle now, and deflected away. Good job by Betancourt for the Indians. But it's held right back in by Ludwig. Down to 2:25 remaining on these major penalties. Thrown across to the bottom of the left circle. Spinning is Luke Golisano. Sends out to the high slot for Ludwig. Through traffic, and the Indians able to clear. Mercifully, they are able to get it out of the zone. And it'll be spun right back around. Here come the Rams to bring it across. 2:03 remaining on all this 5-on-3 that's going on. Into the slot again. Taken there by Chikara. Out of the circle. Right circle, Mount. Left behind. Top of the right circle. Score! Graham Ludwig. It's a power play goal, and it's 3-0 Carmel.
That was a power play that Mahopac looked like they were killing it off, and then all of a sudden it just, you can't have a 2-minute advantage constantly. You're going to be able to get the puck into the zone, and Ludwig had a great shot there. Unfortunately, Haran's kind of left hanging, out to dry because he's got guys in front of him blocking his view.
Well, we know that was Ludwig, and I still believe the other goal was Murphy, but we'll have to get all that straightened out. 3-0 the score. 1:25 remaining.
By number 2, Graham Ludwig, assisted by number 17, Stephen Mount.
So Ludwig from Mount. And for the moment, I'm going Murphy on the second goal, and that's where we sit. Now to the right circle as the Rams bring it right back down. They'll go to the left side boards. Played over there by Luke Golisano. 1:23 remaining. There will be carryover time as we're at 58 seconds remaining in period number 1. This is a 3-0 Carmel lead. Mahopac has won, in fact, the last 6 and are 7-2-1 in this series. Dating back, as that just misses off a backhander tried by Murphy. Goes behind and into the right corner. And guess what? Another penalty is on the way. 7-2-1 in the last 10 for the Indians. And what do we have now?
Look like a rough, but I'm not.
I thought that too.
But I think it's on Carmel.
Yes, it is on Paradiso.
Well, that's interesting because he's on the ice.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, that would be incorrect then, as it goes to the right boards.
Minor penalty assessed to Carmel's number 13.
13, that's better.
Jack Lagan.
As it's on Jack Lagan. Oh, boy. What a start. By the way, that happened at 14:23.
Goal was scored by number 25, Brendan Murphy.
There's the announcement of the Murphy goal. Here comes Mount across the line with 8 remaining. He gets taken down. And another penalty coming up as Cooper Betancourt was hanging right behind him. I'm not sure the penalty would be on him, although I believe it's him holding the hands up to say, who, me?
Yeah, I don't think the ref had too much of a difficult time calling that. It was, he was pretty much wrapped around him, which is, to be honest, if you're going to take a penalty, that's a penalty you pretty much need to take.
Yeah.
Got Mount coming in on basically splitting the defense and coming in, so. But it doesn't, it's not something that Mahopac needed at this moment, that's for sure.
That comes at 14:58. What a first period. Face off to the left side of Haram, which is where it's been all night. And now they whistle it again. Coach Michael Chacha wants
minor penalty assessed to Mahopac's number 71.
Chris Jakara to come off. And there's the face-off, and that will wrap up the period. Yes, it will. And a little push and shove at the end of the period. Thoughts exchanged. And mercifully, the first period is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that we have Chuck-a-Puck.
1 in the books.
Second and third period.
And my understanding is they will only bring the Zamboni out between the second and third, so no need for us to go anywhere. We're right here.
No, and we can maybe catch a breath because that was a strange period in a lot of ways. I think Mahopac, their special teams have really hurt them this game.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a bit of an understatement, but when you miss a penalty shot, then you give up basically 3 straight power play goals. And then, undisciplined, taking penalties like that, unfortunately, it's going to drive the coaches crazy because otherwise it's an even game.
I can't argue. I can't argue that at all. You're right. Mahopac has played undisciplined hockey. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, Carmel definitely they've earned the lead. But I think that when you look at it, holistically, if you will, Mahopac really they were resilient to Carmel's, coming in at at the 5-on-5. Once they got to the power play, I mean, Carmel's power play is just basically, it's one thing to score 5-on-4, 5-on-3. You almost have to be able to score, and they scored 2. So it's hopefully Mahopac, rights the ship there. I mean, I'd hate to see this game get out of control because it's just it's not fun for the players. It might be fun for one fan base or the other, but I like to see a good game. And the last couple of games that we've seen here have been very good between the two teams. I mean, Mahopac's had the edge, the decided edge, but those games were good and they were fun. I don't want to see this one kind of degenerate into either a penalty fest or just a lot of goals.
And it's hanging right around there right now. Second period ready to get started. as Positano now down to our right.
And if I understand it correctly, Rob, I think Haran's the only goalie on the Mahopac roster.
Is
that correct? So even
correct.
if he wanted to make a statement, which there's no fault at all for Haran at any of those goals, but if he wanted to make a statement to pull the goalie, he can't.
No.
Just to wake the team up.
Nope. Can't do it. Second period, ready to go. Face off between Murphy and Carragher, and a hand pass immediately stops it.
Shots on goal, first period. Carmel with 9. Mahopac 5.
Carmel leading 3-0 as we start period number 2 here at the Brewster Ice Arena. This Hockey Fights Cancer night. Aiden Martin, the leading scorer for the Indians. He takes it just inside the blue line, sends down, and a kick save pushed aside by Positano. Indians will bring it right back out into the neutral zone. Down to 7 remaining and another penalty on the way. The Indians controlling it, so it's going to be an Indian power play. Left circle, Martin deflected aside. There's the touch and the whistle.
And it looks like they'll be having the benefit of a 5-on-3 themselves for at least 26 seconds. Wait.
Yeah,
I thought it was 4 minutes. It should have expired.
That's what I thought.
I am completely lost.
All right, what we can tell you is Murphy's going off for a trip at 25 seconds of the second period. Harold and I know hockey. We really do, folks.
I used to think I did.
And this is not our first time working together. But, boy, this is a confusing one. And the face-off initially, they've got to get things under control down below. So,
yeah.
And I've stood in that booth. It gets a little hectic down there. So they're going to figure that out. They're talking it over. There is no little port to speak through on that glass down below. There are little slats that you have to talk through to try to hear.
Now, what time were the two major penalties? Do you have that time?
That was at 14:20. No, that was at 11:22. All that major.
So it should have expired.
Yes, it should have. But they're saying there's a minute 25 left. Now, we know Betancourt's off. Betancourt went off at 14:58 for his penalty.
All right. A misconduct is at the high school level. By the way, what is the misconduct duration?
This being New York, that is an excellent question. Face off to the left side of Positano. It's played back out to the neutral zone, spun around by Martin. Martin off the boards. Martin will take it back. Martin brings it over near side, stepping across the line for the Indians. Comes Guzniowski. Goes down into the right circle, goes behind the net. In a 3-0 game, these power plays all still trickling down as it goes back behind the net. Set up with the Indians. They'll bring it over to the near side. One penalty is expired as Mount comes out. So it'll be taken down the right side. Martin will go back and grab it. Martin, the defenseman, will play his normal position. Grabs it with a backhander out of the right corner, but held in. Fed over, dances down from Mount, nearly grabbed by Haran, but it'll go over to the far corner. Controlled by the Indians, they'll take it out with Carragher. Carragher brings it across the line, trying to dance through the right circle. It's a 3-0 game. Indians trying to get on the scoreboard. That trickling down, held on to, and Positano able to control it.
Well, Mahopac started, at least they've started this period a little bit better, and they've been able to make the announcement here. I was hoping they were going to make a penalty announcement. They're not.
Okay, so what I've figured out is Biagini's misconduct has 27 remaining. Betancourt has 27 remaining as well. I'm just reading the scoreboard.
That's why I knew Biagini had the misconduct. I didn't. What did Betancourt get? Was that a boarding?
Betancourt's was a minor, yeah.
No, yeah, Betancourt's was a minor,
right.
But wasn't it
Right?
All right, I'm lost. Oh, wait a second. Unless it started after the power play, the two-man penalty, the two-man major, so they, I don't know. I'm not even going to guess anymore.
No, and this is like my 22nd or 23rd year of doing play-by-play of hockey, and I'll be darned. Out to neutral zone ice it goes. The Indians will take it back down. Martin climbing down into the left corner. It's brought around to the near side boards. All penalties, hallelujah, have expired. 12:53 remaining, second period. Rob and Harold with you at the BIA, and we'll be needing a glass of water later on tonight. It'll be taken back behind the net in the Mahopac zone. Chris Stiller, a junior defenseman, has it sent all the way down to the other end. It'll be grabbed by the Rams. The Rams lead 3-0 with 12.5 remaining in period number 2. Along the near side boards, that is lifted up and controlled by the Indians and Carraher at the blue line. But the Rams grab that away with Murphy. Murphy with 2 goals on the night. Thrown into the Rams' end, controlled by Paradiso, who will bring it around to the near side as that clock trickles down toward the 3-minute mark of this second period. Turned over, held in at the right point. The Indians had it. Grabbed in the right circle. Here's Shum. Shum back. All penalties, as we said, have expired. Thrown around. Puck was right out in front. It looks like Shum coming over to the near side boards. Down he goes along the right wing boards. Tim Donaghy just smiles and says, where's the call there, as Shum climbs back up. Goes to the far boards. Held in by the Indians and Betancourt. Shum out in front. A couple of whacks at it. Nothing doing. Sent right back toward the left circle. Controlled by the Indians. They get it out of the zone, but the Rams will chase. For the Rams, Jack Lagan down there. Now a little something more coming as the Indians grab it back. Penalty likely on the way. He's got a hand up as the Indians bring it back to the left circle. This is deflected, hits the netting, and play stops.
And now it's Carmel's turn to be undisciplined because that was a 13 for Tripp.
Yep, that's Jack Lagan.
Yep. Carmel has basically, they're allowing Mahopac to get back in the game. Taking that penalty, you're basically in your offensive zone. So, unfortunately, it's going to drive coaches batty in between periods. And I thought, by the way, was it Frey?
Yes.
He made his hit was not on Strum, was not a penalty. It was a solid hit, but he fell awkwardly, and that's I think why he was thinking that. But he hit him well.
To the left side boards it goes. The Rams able to clear the zone. Second true power play of the night for the Indians. Shum chasing, goes to the bottom of the left circle. Just tried to throw it as he fell down. Held in by Martin at the right point. Bounced away from Shum. Standing nearby was Ludwig for the Rams. As it'll go all the way into the Indian zone. Martin as well as Betancourt will go back and retrieve. Now it'll start with Carraher. Carraher being dogged by Luke Golisano, gets it out of the zone, brings it across the line, goes down the left wing side, bounces off the official, comes cross ice. Betancourt, top of the right circle, through traffic, a couple of whacks at it, and Positano holds on.
I have noticed Positano is definitely calm under pressure. He doesn't move a lot in net, which is nice. He squares to the shooter. That's why he seems to be in good position for rebounds.
32 remaining on the power play. 10:29 remaining second period. 3-0. Carmel on top. Carmel trying to make changes, but the official waving. Now they've got it all straight.
Glad somebody has it all straight tonight.
Face off to the left side of Positano. Cross ice it goes into the left circle. Indians trying to get on the scoreboard, going behind the net. They're on the power play for another 20 seconds. Held back behind the cage, setting up there. The Indians working. Here's Betancourt. Betancourt turns and fires. Bounces off. Positano! Score! The juicy rebound. Ryan Carraher. Indians on the board with a power play. It's 3-1.
Yeah, I think Positano would want that one back. He made the save. He was in a real good position, but he just kind of lost sight of the puck and it dropped down. I think he was hoping the ref was going to call it as a dead puck, but everybody could see it. He put it right in.
Baby steps for the Indians. You certainly don't want to get shut out by your essentially crosstown rival, because for those who don't know, Carmel and Mahopac share a town. Mahopac is actually a hamlet.
Number 19, Ryan Carmel.
as it'll go into the right corner. That just misses. Goes back behind, comes over toward the right circle, and the Indians will start back out. Is this the scoop that the Indians need as they bring it across? Go down the left side. It's Biagini. Over to the near side boards. Played by the Indians. Down toward the right corner. The Rams will snag that away. Throw back out to neutral zone ice. Dancing through Luke Golisano. Luke Golisano, down it goes and swept aside by Haran. 9:20 remaining, second period, 3-1. It's starting to feel like we're settling into a hockey game for a moment, but we'll see. Into the neutral zone it comes. Here's Carraher, brings it across the Carmel line, goes to the right circle, goes back behind the net. Trying to set up shop, he'll bring it along to the left point. Biagini waits there. Out of the zone it goes, waiting cross ice. As they dance through, instead, down to a knee, goes Biagini. Down the right side, the Rams will take it in their own zone. Spinning around there is Paradiso. 8:49 to go second period. It's 3-1. Thinking about the one-timer, a fan there in the circle, thrown back toward the left point. Waiting there is Biagini. Down the left side, along the left boards with Martin. Martin delivering a hit over there. Out of the left corner, goes behind the net, played there. 8.5 to go second period, 3-1. Away with it comes Shum. Shum left corner, leaves it behind for Martin. Martin out in front. Now it goes to the left circle, controlled by the Rams. The Indians showing a little better feeling right now, but again, they got to get pucks on the scoreboard. It's 3-1.
Yeah, now that it's a 5-on-5, it seems like there's a little more fluid play, but again, we haven't seen it that long enough to even judge it.
Exactly. And an offsides will be called. 8 minutes remaining. Second period, 3-1. With everything that's gone on, we didn't even have a chance to really do a proper opening of just how great this night is for charity. Hockey Fights Cancer. Third year they're doing it. It's a really cool thing.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that we get invited to do this. It's always fun to get together. The rivalry is fantastic, but the players, coaches, and fans are what makes this thing great.
Face-off just outside of the Mahopac zone. Goes to the left circle, thrown through. That goes back off the end boards, and a backhander score! The Rams grab one. Noah Richardson, it's 4-1.
And that's our first even-strength goal, right? Wow, okay.
That is correct. That is a bit of a backbreaker for the Indians as they started to try to climb back in. The referee not pleased with the puck he had, so they'll bring another one out for a face-off as they sent that over to the Carmel bench.
Goal scored by number 12, Noah Richardson. Assisted by number 13, Jack Lagan. And also assisted by number 17, Stephen Mount.
So there you have it. Richardson from Lagan and Mount at 7:09. Betancourt leaves it behind in the Mahopac zone as it comes out to neutral zone ice now. Played there by Carraher. Carraher dances right along the center ice line, beg your pardon, as that goes down and in! Just across the line. I started to say it was Carraher. It was not. It's a 4-2 game.
I was wondering whether or not Positano was shaken by that goal that was given up, and that's definitely a goal he's going to want to get back. And I think the team's coming over to him and talking to him. They're telling him to get the goal out of your head, because obviously he was thinking about it, or he's distracted by it, and he's been too good today to give up a goal from the blue line like that.
So it was the sophomore Matthew Laskowski to make it 4-2 from just inside the blue line. So a little exchange of goals.
Number 18, Matthew Lakowski.
So 4-2. Out of the neutral zone, here come the Indians. They bring it across Biagini. Biagini goes left circle. To the side of the left circle, dances past the hash marks into the left corner. Gets tangled up along there. Now Donatone for the Indians, and a hand pass will stop things with 6:50 to go in a fairly wild second period. But a wild period in a different way.
Yeah, this is a completely different wilds than the first period. The first period was very undisciplined, a lot of power plays, a lot of penalties, just choppy play. This is just some strange goals, some strange bounces, and, it makes it an interesting game, which I said, a 2-goal game, it's not over yet, that's for sure.
Off the face-off, this comes down and a kick save, pushed aside with the stick of Haran. Still a 4-2 game, Indians will bring it back. Carmel fans now saying, we can't hear you. Each team rooting section trying to get things going here. Into the right corner it goes in the Carmel zone. Out toward the point, held in at the right point for the Indians. Right wing boards and out to center. Bounces away. It'll be scooped up by Murphy. Murphy looking for the hat trick as he goes down the left side in the corner. Toward the left corner, it's Murphy. Out it comes into the high slot. Working toward the left circle was Ludwig. Now to the right corner. Stolen away by Luke Golisano. Golisano will leave it at the right point. Just lifted down the right side by Gavin Golisano. To the right side that goes, and out of the zone as the Indians lift it back. Gavin Golisano goes back into his own zone. He snags, backhands it across. It's brought to the near side boards and thrown out to neutral zone ice. And in fact goes all the way down for, I believe, our first icing of the night.
That was the first icing.
Isn't that amazing?
We've seen everything tonight except an icing. But I'll tell you, if I'm Mahopac, I am taking any shot I can at Positano. Not that I think he's a bad goalie, but I think he's shaken. I think he's been upset about that, especially the second goal. So if I'm Mahopac, I'm going to take shots at him now.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Face off to his left. As it comes down to him, he reached for it. Puck stays alive. Again, that's something that when your confidence is strong, you get on top of that puck. That one bounced away from him. Out this goes, down into the Mahopac zone. Back to grab it for the Indians. It'll be controlled by Santarella. Goes on net, and the Rams have scored. So with 5.5 to go in the second period, it's now a 5-2 game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Lagan who scored. It was just a beautiful shot. I have to believe that, Haran should have been able to stop that puck because I don't think he had anybody blocking him. But, again, it's how fast it turns around.
So out for the face-off it comes. Lagan at 9:28. It's a 5-2 Carmel lead now.
Carmel goal scored by number 13, Jack Lagan. Assisted by
Here's
number
Mount,
12,
left circle.
Noah Richardson.
Noah Richardson gets an assist. And again, it's 5-2. Right corner, Indians trying again to climb back in. The dreaded 3-goal lead as the Indians take it back out of their own zone. To the neutral zone they come, just lift it down. It'll bounce away from Positano off to his left. Scooped up by Ludwig behind the net. Ludwig trying to play it along, gets it out of the zone, but the Indians take it right back with a big blast from Betancourt. Sends it all the way down and around the boards with 4:49 to go second period. 5-2 now the score at the BIA. Poked aside by the Indians out of the neutral zone. Comes back into the neutral zone and comes across the line. The Rams will scoop that up. They try to turn it around, and it's taken away instead by Donatone for the Indians. Martin waiting at neutral zone ice. He backhands it across down the right wing. Down that right side to the bottom of the circle, taken by Ludwig and the Rams. Controlled out to neutral zone ice again and played by the Indians. It's Martin who will grab. Brings it across the line, goes down the left side, gets toward the slot. A lot of players there as he couldn't get it through traffic. Goes to the left side boards, Betancourt there. Heading toward the left corner for the Rams, it's Golisano. 4 minutes remaining, second period, 7 goals, 5 of them for Carmel. Along the left side it goes for the Rams and out of the zone. Trying to swipe at it was Santarella, but instead turned over, looking for more. No, save made as down came Richardson. But Haran with one of his better saves of the night as it goes through and bounces off the end boards, comes right back out in front. Controlled again by the Rams. That comes down juicy out in front, swiping at it, and Haran able to get the body on top of it. Play stops with triple threes remaining in the second period.
Haran came up with a couple of really big saves there, keeping Mahopac in the game. As I said, that shot before from Lagan, I think he probably went back, but he was really strong on that shot and that play. It was essentially a breakaway, and he stopped it, and that's got to be a little uplifting for Mahopac.
Face off to the right side of Haran. Controlled initially by the Indians. They'll take it behind the net. Biagini there for the Indians. Now Martin chasing out of the neutral zone. He brings it across the line. Had a 3-on-2. Just flicked along, unable to get anything on it, was Jonathan Materano, the freshman for the Indians. To the left side it goes in a 5-2 game. 3:10 remaining in the second period. Rams on top, left circle. Martin with a kick save made by Positano off to the left corner. The Ram fans liking that. You can hear the bench kind of tapping their sticks saying good stuff for the 8th grader in net.
Yeah, Positano needed that save.
Absolutely. Goes behind the net. Controlled by Richie Gozniowski for the Indians. 2:45 remaining. Second period. The Indians will start back out, but a turnover takes it right back. Here's Brendan Murphy. Murphy threads it. It got away from Luke Golisano. Golisano along the right boards, takes it back, bottom of the circle, and then grabbed away by Biagini for the Indians. Trying to get it out of the zone, he does. Dancing through the neutral zone, gets it all away from himself initially. Now it goes down the left side, and there's a penalty coming.
Interference.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an easy to call.
Yeah.
One player that I haven't seen, I'm waiting for him to come out is Aiden Martin. He's the leading scorer of Mahopac. I'm expecting him to be, on this power play at least, much more involved. He's a very good player, and when you're leading the team in goals, he's probably going to have to be asked to pick up a little more of the offensive load that was lacking from last season.
He's also a lacrosse goalie, good athlete, and a good young man. Can't call him a kid anymore.
Yeah, I know, young man.
Super polite. He insists on calling me Mr. Adams, which just makes me uncomfortable as this goes down and behind the net. Martin's right there.
You're no mister.
No, I am no mister. The penalty was on Fry for interference. That came at 12:39. 5-2 the score. The Indians looking to get something going. Here's Martin. Martin right circle. Martin dancing behind the net. Sets up, turns and fires. Goes back behind the net. Down to 55 remaining on the power play. And 1:40 remaining in the second period. To the left side, boards it goes. Left behind there for Shum. Shum for the Indians. 90 seconds remaining in the period, and I believe 35 remaining on the penalty. So out to collect it, back in his own zone, is Biagini. Goes behind the net. Some of the lights are out on the scoreboard. That's why I hesitate sometimes with the times and the numbers. Into the left circle it goes. That's Biagini. Goes behind the net. Down to grab it goes Lukowski. 1 minute remaining. Second period. 7 remaining on the power play, and the Rams bring it back with Mount. Mount had himself taken off the play. Comes over to the near sideboards. Power play has expired. And now the whistle does blow.
That's the dead spot that I can't see, so nope. I have no clue what happened there.
It was right down below us. I'll tell you that much. The officials coming together to confer on it. And they're saying they're going to bring the face-off to the dot just outside of the Carmel zone, closer to us.
Is it offside?
I'm going to say yes.
That's what, until we hear otherwise, that's what it is.
I'm going with it.
Well, one thing, I don't know if you saw that Gavin Golisano went heavy into the boards. He's been checking everybody tonight, but that time he checked himself right into the boards. So luckily he didn't get hurt, but it looked like it could have been one of those stingers, when you hit your head, shoulder, but he got right back up. The kid's tough, and not quite sure. They're explaining it.
Yeah, they're explaining something to the Mahopac bench.
Yeah, Coach Donaghy's not a happy guy tonight.
No. He just turns and walks away. (5-2) the score. 47 remaining, second period. – Face off just outside of the Mahopac zone, and Mount able to take it away. Here come the Rams. They dance through, but it'll be the Indians with Betancourt. We're down to 38 remaining in the period. Betancourt gets it back as he tried to work through traffic. Jack Lagan will take it away from him. Bounces off the near boards and controlled by the Rams with Brendan Murphy. He has 2 goals tonight, but he'll skate back into his own zone, sends it around to the far side. On a turnover, it's held in along the left side boards. Going back to the end boards and played over to the near side in the Carmel end in a 5-2 game, 13 remaining in the period. That squirted through, goes all the way across to the far side and controlled by Lagan. Lagan back out to Mount. Mount dances through. Mount gets down on net. Puck loose out in front. Haran stops it with 2.1 remaining in the period.
Yeah, Mount was looking for a hooking penalty on that, but I think we've seen enough power plays for the day. He doesn't need to call that.
Seriously.
Although if I was Mount, I'd be screaming for it myself.
Oh, of course. I would too.
$85.
Face-off will go to the right side of Haran. 2.1 remaining, second period, 5-2. Carmel on top of Mahopac. Mount for the face-off. Lining everything up. There's the draw with 1, and the period will come to an end.
I was wondering if Coach Chacha was going to be risky and pull the goalie for that with the 2.1 seconds, but I think he figured let's go to the locker room without having to think about anything.
Well, 2 periods in the books here on Hockey Fights Cancer Night. 5-2. The Rams on top of the Indians, and Mahopac with some work to do. They keep climbing back into it, and then they keep getting knocked aside.
Yeah, Mahopac's their own worst enemy. This game, I think it seems to be a theme for this season. From what I'm hearing, they're struggling for the offense. But to be honest, if you're going to take so many penalties, it doesn't matter how good your offense is. They're going to be sitting on the bench or killing penalties.
Right.
So I think that's part of the problem with them. I don't know if it's they haven't found an identity yet, or it is early in the season. I mean, you can't write it off after 5 games, but I think they're definitely not the team they were last year. But that's okay. They can build on that, and they have good talent. I mean, Martin's a heck of a player, and quite honestly, a few of them really have surprised me with their speed. But I think that the discipline's an issue, and it's got to be addressed.
Chuck-a-Puck begins here, and we didn't really get a chance, as I said, to do a real opening here, but let's spend a moment while the Benny Hill music goes on with Chuck-a-Puck, and let's talk about the Hockey Fights Cancer angle here and the ceremonial puck drop. I know you had some thoughts on that.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. I mean, I know it meant a lot. Ryan Fisher and Stephanie Fisher, who was a teacher at the Kent Elementary School in Carmel for 20 plus years. She passed away in June. A big, valuable member of the Carmel community. Her family's extremely well liked. Ryan happens to be the captain this season of the cross country team. Runs indoor and outdoor. Amazing young man. He's a lot of fun to be around. He's a incredible sense of humor. So it's great that he got to do it, and I know it meant a lot for him to be able to do it because this means a lot for his, for the memory of his mom. So she basically, when I say that, I also should mention his sister Grace is also,
And earlier today, there was some unfortunate news from the professional ranks, which I think is worth talking about tonight as well.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I heard. I saw it on the internet, and I had to look it up to make sure I wasn't seeing things. But Oscar Lindbaum from Philadelphia, a young up-and-coming star, was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma today, which is essentially a cancer of the blood and bone. And it's, I think it's treatable, and hopefully they caught it. But wow, when you talk about Hockey Fights Cancer, that hit home and in the NHL level. It's tragic. He's out for the season, but it's not the death sentence it used to be. Hopefully he can recover. Honestly, as a hockey fan, you never want to see it, but I just want him to be healthy. And he's 23 years old. He's got his life ahead of him. If he gets returns to hockey, that's amazing and great.
Yeah.
Let's just hope he gets healthy.
Absolutely true. While we're giving out shout-outs, we also want to say hi to Jonathan Rios, who helped produce the opening for tonight's broadcast. And this broadcast was supposed to run live. It's not running live because, as I said at the top when we first started, the internet stinks in here, so we couldn't get online. So Jonathan's going to run it over on 920 The Apple, WON. That will air on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. You can find that on Live 365. He's a good dude. As someone who has spent most of my career in terrestrial radio, I've embraced the internet radio idea, and I know he's a big internet radio guy too. So, shout out to him and a thanks to him. And while we're giving shout outs, this all started because our guy, 5 Minute Major, Travis Jackson.
Yeah.
That's the reason we're standing here, and we're going to keep doing this, even if we got to keep recording these broadcasts. We'll keep coming out and doing them, and it started with Travis.
Yeah, I was thinking about Travis this afternoon, and I was wondering if he was going to be able to get here. You're absolutely right. He's a big supporter of high school level hockey. He's all over the place, but he's such a great guy. What he does for this, and I think the kids, the family, the players, they love. It's kind of like being a little bit, famous, if you will.
Yeah.
And you get to build an internet, popularity, if you will, and that's great. I think he's an amazing job.
And I'm so happy for Travis because I know when you do stuff at the internet level, whether you write or you do broadcasting or anything like that, a lot of times the establishment will look down on you. And I know for Travis that's been a big problem. He wanted the respect to be able to be welcomed in Buffalo for the state championships, and he's achieved that respect, and I'm glad for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I remember we talked about that. It was like the first broadcast.
Yes.
And he was very, it bothered him that media, they didn't consider him media, so to speak. It's like snobbery. And you're part of the, terrestrial radio, and you're part of the, you were in the media.
Yeah.
And I know you've never treated anybody that way. Look, you bring me around, I'm a boob, all right? You bring me around, which is maybe a judgment more on you than me, but, I think that, he's earned his spot, and I think that now he's kind of shut up the naysayers a little bit. I don't know enough about the media on the hockey side, whether or not he's been embraced a little better, but I have to hope he was.
Look, there are, and there's no nice way to say this, there are hacks in this business no matter what.
Yeah, I'm standing right next to you.
I'm one of them. But he is a quality guy, and he's achieved his stripes. He's the real deal.
Yeah, he follows the game. He has a passion for the game. I hate that, he's a Ranger fan, but, it's what it is, So
am I.
Yeah, I know, well. But I accept you. Travis is supposed to be a knowledgeable hockey guy.
I always find it interesting, by the way, that the Mahopac Indians from Rangers country use the Bruins horn and goal song.
Well, they got class, and that's how I like to. That's why I do these broadcasts. No, I think. Kidding aside, I think this has been. Travis has been the start of it, but I would love to be able to see a little more of this growing. I know on certain other, for example, football.
Yep.
There's a lot of popularity in that. I mean, I think it's a little different because you get the one game a week, and it's kind of make it an event for high school level. But hockey, basketball, at this level up here, it's really good, hockey, and this basketball. So I'd like to see them get a little more credit for it. I know, like for example, track and field has live streams of major events in high school. They get a little bit more press than people realize, but hockey not as much.
No, and part of the problem is that this is a private arena.
Right.
So there is Local Live, who I work for. Full disclosure, I work quite a bit with them. Mahopac is now a Local Live school. Local Live, however, does not have their cameras installed here because it's a different animal. This is a private building.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So that's the problem. Almost all Mahopac events otherwise are being carried on Local Live, and to that end, you will likely hear Rob casting once again on Mahopac baseball come this spring. Sean McKee and I have talked about it. Looks like it's going to happen, and it'll hook up with Local Live. As I said, I know those guys anyway, so it's a nice fit.
Yeah, and I've actually enjoyed a lot of Local Live broadcasts. I watched. You know how they do the Netflix and chill. I was doing Local Live and chill. I watched you call about 4 soccer games, and it was fantastic because it was fun. I had it on the TV watching it. It's kind of a weird, surreal feeling watching a game on TV, hearing a buddy of yours calling it. So it's kind of funny. And if you miss something, I kind of went, yeah, he missed that one, or whatever. But it's a lot of fun. But I think Local Live has a great it's making big inroads. I'd like to see more schools embracing something like that.
Yes.
It's great opportunity for the student journalists broadcast.
It can be.
I don't want them being, they need, but almost from an internship, not a broadcast immediately.
It needs to be, and this is something that Joe Early from Brunswick School in Greenwich, Connecticut and I have talked about. Students are great, but it can't be the Wild Wild West either.
No.
And so that's why he asked, he dug to the bottom of the barrel and found me, and I started doing games for Brunswick, as I have for years. And so that has kind of settled that down. Great to work with students, but you've got to have that
work
professionalism.
With them. That's exactly what I was going to say, is I almost as an internship where they can learn from real broadcasters, not just, let me try this. I think that, there's graphics that they could be involved in and doing kind of like, bumpers or commercials, or there's a lot they can do and kind of get part of the experience. Doesn't have to be a broadcast. I mean, if you want to be a broadcaster, that's great. But let's start off with, get your legs under you first and learn from someone, and then maybe every once in a while, let's say you're doing a baseball game, you let a student call an inning, just kind of, and then offer them I think that's a great tool for a kid who's interested in broadcasting.
It is something I've wanted to develop as, I don't know if curriculum's the right term, but it's something I've wanted to see developed at some of these schools. Carmel and Mahopac, if you're listening, I'm available. There you go.
Right, and an example of that, another great example of that is what, you think about, and I've started to see Carmel do it a little bit. I'm not so sure about Mahopac, but there's a lot more, social media savviness to the schools, where it used to be just kind of like, basketball game at 4:00, and that's all you get. But now there's a little more where they'll do some, editing of videos, and they'll put some stuff out there. And that's something that a kid, the students can learn and get involved in, video editing software, if that's what their interest is. Things like that. There's so many pieces of athletics and even events, gymnastic events, volleyball game, anything where you can do some editing, put together highlights, whatever, So I think that's something I'd like to see build. I mean, broadcasting is a cutthroat industry.
Oh, it's very cutthroat.
But, there's a lot of other components of it.
A lot of components. And look, if I've survived lingering around it for almost 30 years, a lot of people can.
Yeah, well,
I hope.
I think it requires tough, thick skin. It requires a lot of resiliency and stick-to-itiveness, if you will. But I think that's part of the experience, and a lot of these young athletes. I know I do a lot of photography. I work for MileSplit, New York, and I'll tell you, I can't tell you how many kids want to see their pictures posted, and it's a great feeling. Of course, half the time I get, oh wow, Mr. Turk, why'd you put that picture in? I look horrible. I'm like, no offense, you all look horrible when you're running.
I thought you were going to use a photographer, by the way. What happened?
He looked like he was on the phone.
Yes, he's doing a great job producing, about as well as you did that time at Fenway Park.
I was just there for the ride, man.
It was a fun ride, that's for sure.
That was a great ride.
By the way, will you be making an appearance up at Dutchess Stadium come the summer?
I'm hopeful. I mean, It's not like it's far away.
Nope. This summer. And
the voice of the Renegades.
I guess so. It'll be on the minor league baseball website. Tune in, and we'll quietly run as a background feed on a website you might be listening to right now.
Well,
If it were live.
I was going to say, right now you're not listening to anything. No, but yes, that would be great. And I think that's going to be a great opportunity for you. I love watching minor league baseball. Quite honestly, I'm not a big fan of Major League Baseball, but minor league baseball has a lot more, I don't know, it seems to mean a lot more to those guys. And
I'd just like to see Major League Baseball not screw up minor league baseball.
Well, they're trying their hardest to.
Third period coming up.
Did you see the Rockland Boulders have changed their name?
No.
They're now the New York Boulders.
All right.
I guess they wanted to take advantage of people didn't know where Rockland was, but I don't know. I kind of liked Rockland Boulders.
So did I.
Because that's kind of the character.
Yes.
So
5-2 after 2 periods of play. Teams back on the ice. The Rams down in their zone, ready to go. The Indians breaking their huddle right now. And work to be done in this 5-2 game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that the next goal could swing the game one way or the other. If it becomes a 4-goal game, it's going to be an big uphill battle for Mahopac. But if they pull it back to a 2-goal game, we'll see what happens. And see if Positano's was talked to in between periods just to calm himself down.
As the puck was controlled off the faceoff by the Rams into the Indian zone. Rams going from left to right. 11 seconds gone by. Third period, 5-2. We're at the Brewster Ice Arena with Harold Turk and Sean Adams. I'm Rob Adams. Here's a wrister that goes wide from Gavin Golisano. To the left side boards it goes. Held in at the left point by Ludwig. Down the left side, turned back by the Indians. The Indians will skate out, bring it across the line. Get down the right wing. To the circle they go. Back behind the net. To the left circle, Martin waiting at the left point. He grabs, wrister down, and Positano holds on through traffic. Nothing fancy on the save, but just builds the confidence.
Yes, and I was going to say that's what you call a major league save. He made sure there was no rebound. He was very square to the shot. So yeah, it looks like his head's back in. I was interested in watching how Mahopac was taking on that faceoff in their offensive zone. They only had one up high, which means they're basically keeping Carmel from scoring. They play more of a defensive style. I don't know if that was just the one play, but that was something I just noticed.
Face off to the right side. Betancourt controls it. Sends down. Blocker save made. Good job by Positano trying to stuff it home. And Positano held on once again.
Yeah, very confident save. He waffled it and then just held on to it.
The mere fact that you said waffle makes me think of Doc. Doc Emmerich and a little waffle boarding. Face off to the right side of Positano. And I have not heard Doc this season so far, which needs to change. This comes down again and into the glove of Positano from the slot.
Unfortunately, I listened to him call the Bruins Capitals game, and not the best game for the Bruins. But
no.
I always like the sashaying across the blue line.
That's
my
nothing
favorite.
like it. 5-2 the score. Carmel on top, 55 seconds gone by, third period. Face off to the left side of Nico Positano, an 8th grader in goal for the Carmel Rams, trying to win their 3rd of the year, and they've got the 3-goal lead. They bring it across the line. Stephen Mount. Mount gets down on that, goes to the backhand, and Horan able to sweep it aside. He had it, didn't hold it, and the Indians will bring it out. Played into the neutral zone. The Indians get it down and across the line. Betancourt sends down off the end boards, goes behind the net. The Rams will take it away. The Rams in the pink tonight here in Brewster for Hockey Fights Cancer. Down the left side with Jack Lagan. They'll go behind the net. Puck came back out in front. Now goes to the left circle. Out of the zone it comes with Mount. Stephen Mount goes cross ice, sends it back with Robert Paradiso down the left side. Along comes Lagan with a goal on the night. Goes behind the cage of Mike Horan in net for the Mahopac Indians. The junior, the lone goalie listed on the Mahopac roster. Bounces off the glass and comes back out. Dancing down is Martin, but Martin's in a 1-on-2. Sends it down, goes behind the net. Comes along to the near side. Rams able to control. Paradiso sends behind the cage. Over to grab it is Christopher Fry. He sends with a backhander out, but Betancourt sweeps it right across the blue line. Turned over. Here are the Indians bringing it down the left side and into the corner. Just about 2:10 gone by, third period, 5-2 the score. Rams grab it. They'll take it with Lagan. He brings it out. Starting back, bring it across, and the offside is whistled.
Well, one thing you mentioned, Carmel once again having an 8th grader in their lineup. I believe Coach Chacha said this is the 5th year that they've had an 8th grader in the lineup. That bodes well for a young program.
3, 9, 4, 5, 5.
Face-off will come outside the zone. Sent down into the Mahopac end, controlled by the Rams, got left behind, and play stops. They will bring the face-off, in fact, back to center ice. It was Shum for the draw for the Indians, and the Rams get it. They leave it behind in the left circle as Luke Golisano went down to a knee, slides over into the left corner. Sent right out in front. Sweeping at it, it gets pushed along into the circle. The Indians will bring it. Martin lifts it out of the zone. Gets thrown right back down at center ice. The Indians take it away with Shum. Shum to the left circle. He gets poked aside by Gavin Golisano. To the left sideboards it goes with just about 3 gone by, period number 3 in this now 5-2 game. Now 3 gone by as it's trapped along the boards on the near side. Taken by the Indians. They have it along the left side. For the Indians, it was Gosniowski. Goes behind the net. Played there, thrown right out in front. Martin was there but couldn't find it. Martin to the side, now goes to the left corner. Bounces it off the boards, he gets it back. Left circle, throws it on net, save made by Positano. Another try, and it's taken by the Rams. They will start back out. Brought along to the near side, and Chris Chikara, boy, he is not easy to miss. That is a big young man for this Carmel Rams team.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he grew. He seems even bigger this year.
All the way down it goes to Positano. Takes it in the glove and then drops it and leaves it aside for Fry. Goes to the far boards and out of the zone with 11:13 remaining in a 5-2 game. Remember, the Indians have won the last 6 of this series. Brought back the other way by Biagini for the Indians. That's pushed out of the zone. Betancourt will chase. He'll grab it in his own zone, lifted right back out. Turning around is Fry. Sent down the right side instead by Zach Rubin. First time we've called Rubin's name tonight to my own brain, the senior for the Rams.
Yeah, I haven't mentioned him either. You're right.
Down the left side it goes into the Indian zone. Betancourt will get it back behind the net. Sends to the far side. Played over there by Jordan Donatone, the sophomore for Mahopac. 10.5 remaining, a 5-2 game. Across the line come the Indians. They'll go down the left side toward the corner. Taken away there by Carraher. He has one of the Indian goals tonight. Goes to the right circle. That'll be played off the end boards, and back there it goes. Donatone will grab. He sends across out in front, and it will be stopped and held onto by Positano.
Once again, the winning 50-50 raffle ticket is 9.
You know, while we were talking before about O'Shea and McKee being out of the lineup and Nick Bricker for the offense, one thing I meant to bring up before was that Carmel lost a player this year. He didn't graduate. He left the program to go play for a competitive travel team, Ryan O'Connell.
That's
who's
right.
One of their top players. So
off the face-off, it comes down into the Indian zone, played into the slot, dances along into the right circle toward the right corner. Shuffling along come the Indians as they get it back on the near side, lifted out of the zone. So the Rams will be reset in their own end. A cross-ice pass comes over to Gavin Golisano. Out it goes, and Betancourt brings it across for the Indians. He's surrounded by 3 Rams. Now Martin, right circle, turns and sends along, but that just rolls and bounces to the near side. Played and out of the zone it comes off a deflection. So it'll be the Indians trying to start back with Carraher. Mahopac in these purplish blue sweaters tonight for Hockey Fights Cancer. A very muted pink logo on the front. Almost looking more white, in fact, in the numbers. A block style on the back. Pink jerseys, to be sure, for the Carmel Rams. The black accents on the front with Carmel sent on the front. And on the back, a rounded style number. Number 12 is Richardson. He goes down the left side. It'll be grabbed out of the corner. Taken back behind the net by Biagini for the Indians. Here comes Biagini, but has it poked away from him. Dancing down is Murphy. Murphy with a couple, looking for the third. He's out in front. Got it! Score!
That was a beautiful piece of work by Brendan Murphy. He was not going to be denied on that. I think I was about to say that Mahopac had calmed things down a little bit, and then, of course, that play happened, and unfortunately for Horan, there's not much he can do with it. He just had too many shots at the net. I think he had 2 or 3 before he put it in.
Carmel goal scored by number 25, Brendan Murphy, unassisted.
And unassisted for Murphy at 6:06. And I saw one fan have a hat taken off her head. He just kind of held it aloft, and that was the end of it. Nothing got thrown on the ice. Looking for more. Off a wrister, goes up and behind the net. Played behind the net in the Indian zone. The Indians will get it back. A lot of work to do now, chasing 4-6-2. Carmel on top, 8:35 remaining as Martin gets it across the line. Trickles through and down and will be held by Nico Positano with 8:31 remaining.
One thing I want to say about this period, as much as it's begun, it's been a lot, I guess, more disciplined. And it was resulting in the way the play was going. That one play, quite honestly, wasn't a real, terrible play by Mahopac. It's just that Murphy just was, he had, rubber on his stick or something, or because the puck, a bungee cord on it, because he couldn't lose it.
Puck comes over to the near side in the Carmel zone. They get it out of danger. Working their way through the neutral zone goes Lagan, but it'll be taken by Martin. Then it's loose, and Horan able to grab on.
Horan's he's not having a terrible game. I mean, that one, I blame that more on the defense than on the goalie. When you give up that many, clear the net,
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think he's given up a bad goal tonight.
I don't think so. The only bad goal I thought was the one that Positano let go. Whoa, off a backhander. How about that?
And as soon as we say
there's the bad goal. It's 7-2.
Yeah. I'm a little. He's been so solid this game. It's I think you can't help but sometimes you start to be distracted. You're getting a little, frustrated, if you will.
I don't think he saw that one coming, honestly.
Yeah, it didn't. He didn't move on it like he saw it.
7-2 the score. 8:09 remaining. We'll have to get all the details on the goal.
Well, based on the rivalry records, I think Carmel's fans are a little not sure what to do with themselves, because usually I think Mahopac's won the last 5, 6. 6. So, so.
Scored by number 9, Zach Rubin.
And it was Zach Rubin who got the goal.
Well, you hadn't called his name.
By number 22, Jaden Albert.
And Jaden Albert, a sophomore, gets the assist. 7-2, and I think a few from Mahopac starting to call it a night as the Indians will start back out. 7.5 remaining. Goes down the right wing side. Dropping down is Carraher. Carraher in the right corner. Scooped up and taken away by the Rams, but turned over and taken by Lukowski. Turns around and leaves it behind. It's Carraher at the end boards. Now Lukowski thrown back out to the right point. Held in there by Gosniowski. Comes over to the near side. It's Betancourt. He plays it off the left boards to send it close to the net, but nothing doing. Back comes Cole Evans for the Rams. He sends it down. Horan had that one get away from him. Goes past the end line, goes to the far boards. Controlled over there by Luke Golisano. He settles things down with 6:55 remaining in a 7-2 game. Here's Luke Golisano across the line. He winds and fires. That got blocked by Gosniowski, the junior. Bounces along and now rolls to the far side. Gosniowski will go over there and take it. Sent out. Martin lifts it there. Left behind. The Indians will bring it across the line. Turning and firing is Shane Moody. Moody to the left circle. Moody down into the left corner. 6.5 to go. It's all Carmel, 7-2. In the slot, turned over, taken here. The Indians throw it on net. Shum, and the save made. Positano.
Yeah, that's a position save for Positano. Again, he's definitely righted the ship, which is, if I'm the coach, I'm real impressed with this young man because, he's playing in a tough rivalry game. Carmel, Mahopac, there's a lot of, a little anger between these two teams. He gives up a couple of goals he wants back, but you know what? He's definitely turned it around.
Face-off came to the near circle. Played back to the point. Out to the neutral zone and across the line. Jordan Donatone over there for the Indians. 6:07 remaining. Carmel, in all likelihood, is going to break the 6-game schneid as they go toward the left circle. This is a streak that began when Mahopac won 5-0 on November 28, 2015. The previous year, February 4th, 2015, the Rams won 4-3. Prior to that, a 4-4 tie in February of 2014. So this series has been lopsided for the Indians, and the Rams are about to get it. As it comes down into the slot, goes to the left side. Played over there by Lagan. Lagan with a goal tonight. Puck is loose, turning, and it's sent wide. It got away from Haran as it goes to the far boards. Held in with a blast coming. That goes well away from the left point to the near side boards. Alyssa Brucato, a senior defense player, goes down the left side. That's where the terminology gets a little twisted, as that young lady is on the ice and sends it down the left side. To the left circle it goes, poked at, Haran behind the net, now trying to set up out in front, again behind the net, one try, score! Stephen Mount makes it 8-2.
Yeah, right now Carmel is basically, they have smelt the blood and they're starting to lick it up. I think Mahopac, unfortunately, now just wants to run out the clock. I was going to tell you when you said it was 7-2 and it was almost in the bag, I said, what? Based on this game, I wouldn't say that. Because we might see three major penalties in a row.
Oh my gosh, right?
Carmel goal scored by number 17, Stephen Mount.
Puck hit the netting and goes out of the rink. Play stops.
By number 11, Luke Golisano.
And Luke Golisano got an assist on the goal. 4:41 to go. And the happiest news that Harold and I probably got was before the game when Craig Bricker said to us, there's no game after this. Take your time breaking down, because this is a hockey barn. You've heard of, like, the wedding facilities that just have one after another. This is a hockey barn. One after another all day and all night. So we can take our time getting out of here.
Yeah, I believe he said something about it was a men's league thing going on.
Off to the far boards it goes. It'll be played over there by Jessica Gamby, a senior forward. Down the left side it goes to the left circle. That puck comes over to the near side, taken by the Indians. 8-2 Carmel, and a penalty on the way. Here's Carraher. Carraher gets down on net, tries to throw it home, and Positano's going to hold on to it.
Now, that was a nice save by Positano. As he was cutting across, I think that was I'm trying to see who got the penalty. I think that was Carraher came across, and he made a nice little, he get tossed?
Getting told to go, and it's Mount. So Mount has been escorted.
Well, that's not, okay, so let's talk about this. If it's a major penalty, that's 4 minutes.
Yup.
So he got a major and something? Game misconduct?
I would think. 4:05 remaining. A.J. Pfeiffer has come on, a freshman defenseman, as well as Sean McKee, a junior. Martin looks like he'll take the face-off from Mahopac when it does happen. I believe Gamby is coming off for the Rams, as the Rams will improve, at least as far as I can see, to 3-2. Because there's 4:05 to play. It's an 8-2 game, and I don't care how many penalties there are.
Yeah, and I think that also makes them 1-1 in the league.
I believe you're right. Martin for the face-off for the Indians. They have not put anything up on the board, by the way.
That's a 4.
Up, now a 4 goes up. And it's Jack Lagan's number that they're putting up. Mount definitely left the ice. We watched him.
Yep, I think maybe he's serving it.
I'm going to guess that's the case. Played along the near side boards. The Indians will grab it. Taken by McKee. Left aside there. Julia Israel is there, senior. Chasing down into the Indian zone. That's poked aside. Goes behind the net and toward the left corner. Held in left point over there. Played by Paradiso. That goes back up behind the net. Well, I can tell you it's a major penalty. Here it comes.
17, Stephen Mount. Disqualification for a high sticking.
So there you go. A high stick, a 4-minute penalty, and a DQ. Indians will take it and send it back out. It'll come all the way down, looking for an icing call, and Positano is correct. So the whistle stops play with 3:14 to go.
Yeah, I didn't see the penalty. Obviously, I saw it was getting a little chippy down there. I think they were kind of battling a little bit. But you know what? I think it's always better to err on safety. If he's getting that stick up, you don't want the Mahopac players kind of making sure they get a little bit of payback. So I think it was a good call.
Face off to the right side of Haran. Goes down toward the left corner. Taken out of that left corner by Danny Shum. Shum behind the net. Skates over to the near side, now works his way back out of the Mahopac zone. Trickles through the neutral zone. Shum grabs, brings it across. Goes down the left side into the corner. Rolls around back there. Shum chasing. Goes and leaves it behind. But waiting there is Graham Ludwig for the Rams. 2:40 remaining on the major penalty. 2:45 remaining in the game. 8-2 Carmel on top. And Mahopac skating a player up. To the far side it goes and taken by the Rams. They bring it across with Cole Evans, now backed out, and the Indians will take it and sweep it out to the near side. Skating through comes Shum. Turned right back around. This is the one spot down below where it gets a little tough for us to see, but it goes into the Ram zone and bounces off to the far side boards. The Rams come out with Evans. Evans gains the zone with a backhander, then he'll skate off for a change. Goes behind the net, down to 2:10 remaining, 2:05 remaining on the major penalty. Along to the near side, a little pushing and shoving, and there you go.
Too many men on the ice, I think he got called for.
Yep.
I was watching him, I was like, better get over the boards. But he wasn't able to get over in time. He didn't see the puck coming around.
And that is the call.
I also noticed it was a little interesting how they were killing the penalty. When I was watching, that was what they called it. When Evans was kind of up high, almost like he was waiting for a breakout pass. So Carmel's still thinking offense, even on a penalty kill.
8-2, they have the lead. 1:55 to go. And at this point, going to skate 4 aside to call it a night, just about. Out to the neutral zone, the Rams will take it and send it down. It'll bounce off the end boards toward the corner. Taken there by Biagini. For Nick Biagini, a star forward for the varsity soccer team. It'll start back out with Fry for the Rams. Now left at the blue line. They'll bring it back to neutral zone ice. Working their way through. Puck comes loose. Sent along by Fry on a cross-ice pass. It goes to Paradiso, who sends down the left side. Goes behind the net with 1:15 remaining, and they're loving it. Carmel's going to celebrate in 1:10 and an icing whistled with 1:09 to go.
Well, I'd say it's been a strong effort for Carmel. I mean, they've been on the losing side with Mahopac, like as we've mentioned, for a few years here. So I'm sure this is a very sweet one for them. I think with Coach Chacha, he's got to be happy with it, even though it was a little undisciplined and a little choppy. I'm telling you, he should be real happy with Positano and his bounce back for giving up 2 kind of soft goals.
So wait, are you telling me Coach Chacha might dance his way out of here tonight?
Oh, I'm sorry you said that.
Here's Betancourt to bring it out of his own zone. 57 seconds remaining. He brings it down right circle. Had it taken away from him and scooped up by Brucato to the far side boards for the Rams. Brucato will chase, and now it'll be taken by Gavin Golisano out of the right corner. Pushed around to the near side, 40 seconds remaining. Penalties are getting ready to expire. At least the major one is now over, or rather the Mahopac one is over, The major one's still counting down. So back to a small power play for 22 seconds. Played into the left corner. for the Indians. They come away with it with Moody. Moody goes behind the net, looks to set it up out in front. Nothing there. Another try. Puck comes loose into the slot. Got blocked. Down to 13 remaining. Try again. This gets deflected and off to the near side. Betancourt along the left side. That's deflected as well. They're going to count it out. And for the first time in 6, the Carmel Rams have won on Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Final score, 8-2.
Well, you can see it's a relief for Carmel. They've definitely wanted this game. I think they knew that Mahopac was coming in with a kind of a tough go in the last couple of games. So this is what Carmel needed. This is not what Mahopac needed. Coach Donner, he's got a little bit of work to do. I know he's mentioned it in the past that, this is kind of it's a building year. He's going to have to build on the play, but one team will be happy, one team won't.
There you go. As the teams begin the handshake line, they are rivals for sure, but again, remember, and I think it's such a smart move to make it a charity night, at least one out of the 2 games. You're still rivals, but at least you have a common goal. There's something a little bit better about that, and it takes a little bit of the edge off.
And that's why I'm real curious as to what happens next Friday.
So am I.
With an 8-2 drubbing, and it was, I'll just say, dirty game. There was a lot of dirty hits. It wasn't real nasty, just reckless.
Just one of those nights.
So I'm just curious to see what happens next game.
Coaches come together. Everybody seems to be respectful as always. The adults, at least, keeping things under control.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening. I'm watching right now 19 and 68. Who's that? Sophia Cachonio and Alyssa Bricata were just doing kind of dancing on the ice. So
there you go. And I thought they would do this. The Rams had headed off the ice, but traditionally they have taken a group picture, and now the Rams are starting to come back.
I think they completely forgot.
Yeah. Hockey fight.
Take a picture of both teams on the ice. Look, 1-2, 1-2.
8-2 the final score.
1-2, 1-2.
Murphy had the first 2 to start it. Ludwig, Caraher, Richardson, Lukowski, Lagan, Murphy, Rubin, and Mount the goal scorers.
Let's hear from these 2 teams.
As we'll get the picture from
Thank you for all who contributed
from the behind angle.
to today's cause.
8-2 the final score. Harold, you and I have to make sure we smile because we're in these pictures now.
Yeah, they're going to get my bad side, my face.
Now the pictures have been taken. Players begin to skate off the ice. And, for Mahopac, what are you going to do? This is a frustrating year for them.
It's definitely a frustrating year. They lost 4 games all of last year. This is loss number 5 for them, and they haven't won yet. The one game that they had a large lead, it was a 4-0 lead against Pauling. They wound up tying 5-5. So they're not getting breaks, and I think that they're also keeping themselves from getting breaks by undisciplined penalties and a little bit sloppy in their own end. But I don't rule out Mahopac ever because I think they're very well coached, and I think that they'll adjust and adapt. I think, unfortunately, we mentioned this last year. I'm going to beat the drum. When you have two scorers as prolific as McKee and O'Shea, you can't just replace them.
And the top 2 scorers in school history.
That's right. And
now, keep in mind, for folks who don't know, Mahopac hockey is only 20 years old. This is its 20th season, in fact. It was not a varsity sport when I went there back in the dark ages, or my siblings went in a whole different lifetime.
They hadn't invented ice yet.
Yeah, well, back then, you're right, with my siblings. But, yeah, hockey was not a varsity sport until, as we said, 20 years ago.
Right, but even, they've come a long way. I mean, last year they had a phenomenal season, and, we didn't really broadcast them after our game. But, they went all the way to they went to sectionals, and they wound up losing to the ultimate state champ.
That's right.
So they had a fantastic year. So this is probably stinging a little bit on that. I think we talked about it last year, saying when you're losing a lot of seniors and a lot of just skill, it's a tough. It definitely will take a step. But I really like to believe that they're young enough and they can build on it. They only have, I think it was 5 or 6 seniors who are graduating. I mean, they're very good players. So Mahopac's going to have to find that somewhere. They're going to have to find the scoring. To be honest, scoring you can work on. More importantly is work on the penalties.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. I mean, they really just shot themselves in the foot.
Considering how the first period went, I thought I was going to run out of space on my my scorecard for penalties.
Yeah, and it was really no end in sight.
By the way, but I thought I was going to.
And there was no end in sight the way it was going. I was losing track of it, watching, going, what is this on now? Who's got that? And misconducts, and it's just. As a coach, it's probably something that they can address and fix. It's just a matter of keeping the players' emotions in check. When a game, this game was not over. It was 3-1. It was like
it was 3-1, and Mahopac looked like they were playing much better,
right.
Better energy.
Right, and then all of a sudden, again, another penalty, and it was, the first 4 goals were power plays.
Are the Indians kind of acting like, well, we don't have those scores anyway, so are they almost playing defeated?
I can't say that. I mean, I'm sure that the coaches don't want them to.
Oh, no.
But I think.
But I wonder, from your eyes, are you seeing that?
I didn't see. I just didn't see a cohesive line. Like when you saw Bricker out there and O'Shea, they dominated play.
Yeah.
I mean, Martin is probably the one player that I saw the most today make the most moves, and kind of almost make things happen. But even he, it's a lot easier to shut down one player than when you had 3 players. So you really had 2 plus Bricker. So when you have that kind of skill, all right, we're going to shut down McKee for this game. Oh, well, what are you going to do with O'Shea? Oh, we're going to shut him down. Oh, what are you going to do about Bricker? Mahopac doesn't seem to have that. So right. I think that's the problem. And I think it is an emotionally trying time to kind of figure out what do we want to do. What is our identity? Last year we were high flying, we scored all these goals, and they're struggling for goals. I mean, 2 goals again. Carmel is a better team than last year. They looked at their confidence grew immensely.
Yep.
Now they seem to have a young goaltender, and they have 3 goalies. Mahopac has 1 goalie. I hate to even think about what God forbid something happens where if he gets injured, if Haran gets injured, what do they do?
Yeah, you're putting someone else in, or you're finding.
Well, the joke is
who's the
lacrosse
team,
goalie?
So, yeah.
you might be putting Aiden Martin in net, which would be pretty awful for them. But I'm sure they might have somebody in the modified levels. But you really, you see the difference. Look, we saw how Positano got shaken real bad.
Yeah.
And it was obvious he got shaken. I'm incredibly impressed how he recovered so quickly,
he rallied.
Which is why he's on the varsity.
I agree.
Whereas you take a kid from modified or some other kid who's kind of like added to the roster, and if he's not used to playing high school level hockey, and especially you're playing a game against Carmel.
Yep.
I wouldn't wish that on an enemy, because that's going to be tough. You're going to be, other teams are just going to be firing at him at all opportunities.
If it all goes right, we will be back here next week. I do not have much confidence that we will be live, but we're going to try it anyway. 4:30 next Friday. Keep my fingers crossed, I suppose. The Rams now 3-2 on the year. I believe you said 2-0 in the
1-1.
1-1 rather in the league. Mahopac now 0-5-1, and
I think they're 0-1 in the league.
Yeah, and they just have to find scoring. That's all there is to it.
Scoring and discipline, and both are kind of hard to come by.
Yeah, they are. 8-2 the final score. Again, we thank you for joining us. I hope a lot of money was raised for Hockey Fights Cancer, because at least tonight, as important as the game is, that's really important.
You're absolutely right. And I think that's what's wonderful about this community and what they do and how they get together. And even this game was a chippy kind of bitten. It wasn't the worst game I've ever seen with kind of intensity, but it was great to see the teams get together afterwards, shake hands, take pictures, and it wasn't like, it didn't look forced. It doesn't seem to be forced, because I think all of these all of these players are impacted by cancer. I mean, unfortunately, there are just far too many students that you hear about. I mean, Carmel right now has, I mean, besides the Fishers, there was, there was at least 2 other students that now have cancer or had cancer. It's affecting students, parents, everyone. So I think they all get together, and it's real important for them.
Yep, really important. I agree, and it was a good night. It's always fun to be back here. You live in Carmel. You have a daughter who goes to Carmel. You have a son who went to Carmel. I'm from Mahopac. I graduated from there, or Mahopac, if you will. My son at least comes to Mahopac, although he doesn't go there. He goes to John Jay's Fishkill, but he grew up at least part of the time with Aiden Martin, so it was kind of fun to, this is just fun to do all of this.
Yeah, it is, and I enjoy it. And I think, unfortunately, this game started out just, I think, just the technical issues, and then it was just kind of like, screeching halt, kind of restart and rethink. But I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy having it, and I would love to be able to do the next week game, because I'm real curious to see what happens in that game. I
agree. I think we'll be back with you again. Even if we have to record it, we will. It'll always get archived, and Jonathan Rios will be happy to put it on WON 920 The Apple. We're happy to work with them as well. So it works in the long run, and we just make it happen. That's all there is to it. So with all that said, we're going to say goodnight from here, and I'm going to go home and clean this all up and make it sound really good by the time I post it in the archive.
Can you fix the first 10 minutes of anything I said, because I was kind of confused. I don't know, the bright lights in here, I don't know what it was.
I will work my magic. So, thanks to Sean Adams. He produced it. Trust me, he was here. He was just doing things all night, handing us reads and everything. He couldn't have been better. For Sean Adams, Harold Turk, I'm Rob Adams saying goodnight from the Brewster Ice Arena. Hockey Fights Cancer has come to a close with the final score. Carmel 8 and Mahopac 2. The Rams get their first win over the Indians in 6 tries. We will see you next Friday at 4:30. But for now, from the Brewster Ice Arena, good night, everyone.
Powered by Rob Casting Radio.